Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now here on a Monday. We'll get into the news, rumors, and reaction versus a big dominant win against the Lions. I was so not ready for that. I'm not used to the Eagles having a nice, easy cruise to the finish line on a Sunday afternoon. First, though, help me cruise to 3,000 subscribers on my official Twitter account, @RealThomasMott. I'm very close. I'm less than 200 away, and 3K is a lot better than 2,800 or whatever it is right now. So, if you don't follow me already, I encourage you guys to go ahead and do so because I tweet a bunch of stuff during the week about the Eagles, and of course, I answer a lot of DM questions as well. So go to my Twitter account, @RealThomasMott, and give me a follow today. All right, so I know what you're thinking, right? Thomas, I do not want to hear all about how great the Eagles are today just because they blew up the Detroit Lions yesterday. The Lions do not have a win this year. They might not ever get a win this year. I don't want to hear about how they're solved and everything's fixed and everything's fine. I understand that, right? Everything I talk about today must be taken with a grain of salt. However, this was 44-6. This was not, a 7-point win against the Lions, a 3-point win against the Lions. This was an absolute utter domination on both sides of the football, and the improvement that we saw from coaching from this week to what it was last week and the weeks before, to me, was the big eye-opener here. The ability to run the football, the decision to actually stick with the run, the defense actually blitzing. These are all things we're going to talk about here in my 5 Week 8 takeaways. This is a big win and a good win for Philadelphia. And even though the Eagles might just roll back to their former self against the Chargers next week, I think we at least have to acknowledge that the whole flower incident, you remember we talked about that on Thursday, whatever it was last week, and how, Nick Sirianni, he's lost the locker room. He clearly has not yet, because the team did play very, very hard and got a win against a team in Detroit that should have at least 3 wins this year because they should have beaten a couple of teams that they kind of got screwed in the end of those games. So it's a nice win. It's a good win. I get if you don't want to hear about how great the Eagles are today because it was Detroit, but we do have to at least acknowledge that that was a solid win for Philadelphia. Now, let me ask this question, and I'll start with this. Pin comment down below. There'll be a little ad break here. Give me your thoughts. Will this win kickstart the Eagles? 3-5. We'll talk about the playoff picture a little bit later on in this video, but will this win jumpstart the Eagles? Is this the kick in the pants they needed? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. All right, let's start with the big thing here. Look what running the football does. Isn't it amazing? I do not know why it took till Week 8 for the Eagles to finally decide to run more than pass, but what do you know? It actually worked, and it worked beautifully. This is what the Eagles should have been doing literally the entire season. They should have been a run-first team. I don't know why we always tried to be a pass-first team, but look what happened. You need Miles Sanders in there. Look at this. Jalen Hurts had 71 rushing yards. A couple of those came on 2 big runs that he had there in the second quarter. Boston Scott, though, 62 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Howard, 57 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And Kenny Gainwell, he had 13 carries for 27 yards. Not a lot of yards per carry, but he had a lot of carries overall, and that's good news. The fact that we started running the football is just so refreshing. It's such good news. And guess what? This is how you win football games, especially with the current state of the Eagles where they have, troubles on the outside in terms of receiver. More on that a little bit later on, where Jalen Hurts can be a little bit iffy. This is how you win games. You pound the football, you keep the defense off the football field the way they're well rested when they are going to be on there, and you have long drives, long time of possession, and you use that big giant offensive line to move people aside and create running lanes. This is what the Eagles should have been doing all year long. It's crazy that it took half the season to get there, but they can keep this up, they might be able to kind of turn things around and start winning some games here. Jordan Howard, the fact that Jordan Howard had not played a snap at all this year and then looked that good is a little bit concerning. It's where has he been? Why have you not been using him? He's a short yardage back that the Eagles should have been using all year long, but I digress. Welcome back to him and Boston Scott. They were fantastic yesterday, and if they can keep this up, then the Eagles can really start winning some football games going forward. Now, let's get into Jalen Hurts here quickly. Hurts, his plate wasn't too full, and I think that's the big takeaway from yesterday with piggybacking off of what we talked about with the rushing attack. His numbers aren't great, right? 9 completions, 103 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The quarterback rating was high, though. He didn't make any big mistakes. He didn't do anything special, but he wasn't asked to do anything special. Jalen Hurts had no situation where he was down 10 points or down 7 points or needed to go convert on this third down. He ran the football first and then converted when he needed to, and this is what Jalen Hurts can thrive in doing. This is what they did with Lamar Jackson for his first 3 years in the National Football League. They ran the football like crazy. They relied on his legs and made him throw last. And now that Lamar has actually been able to blossom into a good quarterback, they do all those things still, and yet let Lamar Jackson throw the football. The same needs to go with Jalen Hurts. This is the key, and this is how you get Jalen Hurts to be successful, is you don't ask him to be Superman. You don't ask him to go, score 21 answers against the Dallas Cowboys and out-duel Dak Prescott. You run the football, and you let him just hand the ball off and then make the proper throws whenever he needs to. I thought he was really good yesterday because this is exactly what they should have been doing with him all season long. grade the Eagles' performance as a whole against the Lions. Is this our first A? Can we finally put A down below? I think this is the first A that we've had, in my opinion, since week 1. I mean, week 1 against the Falcons, that was an A. This should be an A as well. Give me your grade for the Eagles' performance against the Lions down below right now. And while you're at it, the trade deadline is coming. It's literally tomorrow afternoon. If Philadelphia does anything, I am on call and ready to go to make any sort of Eagle video if a move is made. So make sure you guys are subscribed down below, because as soon as a move is made, we'll go make the video, we'll upload it and get it to you guys as fast as possible. Our subscribers get it first, to go down below and hit that red subscribe button. Okay, we got to then shift over to the defense. And again, I'm giving a lot of praise because they did win and they didn't make changes. The defense actually brought pressure. They actually blitzed linebackers. This was incredible. I mean, I could not believe my eyes whenever they began early playing a little bit of that shell defense, and then as they got gashed a little bit by DeAndre Swift, they immediately bumped them up, and it was like, whoa, Jonathan Gannon has been listening to what we've been saying on Twitter. I think Jonathan Gannon has been reading Twitter this week. I mean, they were fantastic against the Detroit Lions. They had multiple sacks. They were able to stop the run, less than 100 yards. That was rare. We got ran all over the place just a couple of weeks ago, especially by the Raiders. And they were able to force turnovers. Welcome back to Darius Slay to Detroit. I mean, everything was going on. My big theme today of the show is this. Why did this take so long? Like, seriously, why did it take so long for us to figure this out? Maybe this goes back to the idea the Eagles have bad coaching. We talked about that last week, but why did this take so long? Like, the Eagles have talent. They're not completely devoid of talent like some football teams out there, like the Detroit Lions, for instance. They have enough talent to win some football games. They just utilize it properly. We're seeing the fruits of that labor on Sunday. I hope they keep this rolling. I mean, I really hope the Eagles are going to go ahead and keep this rolling. They were great on third down yesterday. Again, they forced turnovers. They got sacks. They had pressure. I mean, they blitzed linebackers and run situations. They didn't play completely off coverage on third down and 3. I mean, everything that we hated about the Eagle defense was basically fixed yesterday. And I know it's the Lions. I get it. Like, I totally understand. It was the Detroit Lions. But at least you're seeing proper scheming against NFL teams. Let's see what happens next week against the Chargers. But I loved what I saw on Sunday against the Eagles. Goodness gracious. Now, I did not love what I saw with my picks of the week, but I do love who I was betting them with. That is chatsports.com/Eagles bet, and our friends at BetUS, who still have a crazy great deposit bonus right now when you guys first sign up. Use the promo code EAGLES125, get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up, and then you can bet on my picks or not. I've had a past 2 weeks have been a little rough. Here's what I did. I went 1 for 4, which is rough. So first off, Atlanta laid an absolute egg against Carolina. That was a terrible performance by the Atlanta Falcons. That's on me. I bet against Philadelphia, and I'm happily wrong, but I guess I should have bet Eagles -3, but wrong on that one. Titans did get a win. Thank you, Carson Wentz. I appreciate you, as always. Wentz losing yesterday. I mean, come on. I don't wish badly on Carson Wentz, but I do want the Colts to lose, that we get a high draft pick, so I bet against them, so that worked out well. Chargers, absolute egging against the Patriots. That was a mistake. And the Bucks, the Saints played their minds out. The Saints are actually good. So we learned a lot this week in my betting. Better bets next week. I'll give you my top 5 next week, as later on this week as the week continues to progress. But bet with our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/Eagles bet. Promo code is Eagles125. All right, we do have to acknowledge one bad thing, or at least thing that I didn't like yesterday, and that's to do with DeVonta Smith. Like, where is DeVonta Smith gone? Like, he's MIA. And he was so good early on in the year, and he had a couple of touchdown passes that were called back, and he had a couple of drops issues, but he's now not even really being featured. Like, they're not throwing him the football. Yesterday, he had 1 catch on 3 targets. 5 catches against the Raiders, 2 against the Bucks, 7 against Carolina. Like, this is... It's not his fault. I think he still is obviously going to be a great receiver. I'm not dogging him in any way, but we got to feature DeVonta Smith. I mean, I like Dallas Goedert being the leading receiver, but Smith has really got to be the number 1 target of Jalen Hurts. And again, I understood that they were not going to throw the football a ton yesterday, but 1 target the entire day, a little bit iffy. Now, Jalen Reagor did get hurt in this game. Quickly here, an injury update. We do not have the details on the ankle injury. I think he's going to be okay based on a tweet that I saw from him in the postgame. He was kind of, shouting out the team for a big win, but we don't know the extent of the injury as of right now. By the time you watch this video, you'll probably know in detail what's going on, but I don't think that we are going to get the details up in time because we're filming here early on a Monday morning. So if Reagor is out for an extended period of time, look for Philadelphia to maybe make a move at the trade deadline for a wide receiver. We talked about that in some videos last week. If they do, of course, we'll keep an eye on it here on the channel, as the deadline is literally about a day and a half away. So if they make a move and they need a wide receiver, which I think they might, we'll cover it here on the channel. Do you guys think the Eagles will trade for anyone at the trade deadline? You think they will? Type 1 down below for yes. Think that they will not, which, again, we're going to find out tomorrow. Then type 2 down below for no. We're going to find out what Philadelphia does at the deadline here very, very soon. Now, again, we talked today a lot about the improvements and what I liked and the fact that the coaching looked a lot better, but we're going to learn a lot more about this win when we play the Chargers next week. And LA is a very good team, even though they lost on the road at home, against the Patriots on Sunday, but we're going to learn a lot. I think that if the Eagles are actually about to turn a little corner here and are playing much better offensively and defensively, they might have a chance to beat the Chargers next week. I'm not going to, call that just yet, but I think Philadelphia is going to tell us all we need to know about the Eagles going forward if they're able to beat the Chargers on Sunday, or they get blown out by the Chargers. But as we said, the schedule is pretty easy. I mean, Denver on the road is, to me, still a very easy game because their offense is not that great. The Saints are going to be a little interesting, but Jameis Winston might be done for the year, so Trevor Siemian, I guess. Jets and Giants, those are easy games. You could technically see some wins coming up here if they're able to do what they did today against better football teams, and that's really the big key and the big focus here. In terms of the postseason, I don't want to get too crazy about this because I don't think Philadelphia is going to the postseason as of right now. Again, if you win 5 in a row, then this will change, but it is still a possibility because look at how these wild card matches up. Like the Rams and Saints are definitely the 5 and 6 seed, so the 7 seed is really your only possibility right now, but the Panthers are 4 and 4, like they're 500. Philadelphia can get to 500 2 weeks from now, and there aren't a lot of teams really that are fighting for the 7th seed. Like it's Carolina, it's the Vikings, it's Atlanta at 3 and 4, and then it's I think it's the Bears, and then it's us. So it's not impossible. I know people don't want to hear playoffs right now, but in just case you're wondering what the playoff picture looks like, that's it up on your screen right now. Do you guys think the Eagles will rally and make the playoffs this year, or do you think they're going to miss the playoffs this year? Again, I don't want to go overboard because it was the Lions, but I liked what I saw. If you think they'll make the playoffs, type P for playoffs. I think they'll miss the playoffs, type M down below. All right, ultimate for today on our Philadelphia Eagles news and rumor and reaction video here on a Monday. We'll keep an eye out on the trade deadline stuff. Make sure you guys are subscribed for that. And here's the deal. Just enjoy the fact that they won. Like, seriously, like, they won a football game. They hadn't done that in a couple of weeks. I, for one, will not take it for granted. It's fun when the Eagles blow out teams. It's rare recently. And so I'm enjoying it here on on a Monday morning. Again, ultimate for today on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.